Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, and today oh my gosh, sorry. I am in beautiful France, overlooking this gorgeous valley. And also, actually, here. I don't know if you can see, but that's the Mediterranean. It's all very beautiful and picturesque and all of that. But today we are talking about basically effort in a relationship and how it really does have to be both ways. And it doesn't always have to be both ways every single day or 24 hours or at every moment in the relationship. It doesn't have to be a 50-50, but you have to be willing to put the effort in the equal amounts to the other person. Because I have been in a lot of relationships that involve one person putting in way more effort and the other one not really caring, and it never works out. Like, it literally never works out. There are relationships that somewhat function because one person is putting in all the effort and really accommodating and making sure everything runs smoothly and doing everything they possibly can to just make it work. But unless that person is like Superman and can keep that up 24 hours a day for, the rest of your lives, that kind of relationship is not going to function and it's not going to survive. So I want to talk about basically how this whole phenomenon affects relationships, how you can put more effort in, or maybe you take away the effort. Recently, I have been in several sort of friendships and things like that where I have been putting in a lot of effort and I realized, oh my gosh, I'm doing everything. I am the only person in this relationship. And what I've found is you take away that effort and you retract all of the effort you've been giving, and suddenly you're free. You don't have to deal with it. And it's hard because sometimes you really love these people and it can be really difficult. But if you stop putting in the effort, you really learn whether the other person is invested or not in the relationship, because either you will hear from them and they will start putting in effort, or it just gets radio silence, which sucks. Like, don't get me wrong, it sucks to just realize that, the person in this relationship, whatever the relationship is, whether it's friends, family, like a lover, any kind of relationship, it really sucks to basically learn that this relationship was never functional, or if it was, it hasn't been for a long time. So that's like my little 2 bits on that part of it anyway. I think if you are the person in a relationship and you know that you're not putting in the effort, and you know that because maybe you don't have the same feelings they do, things have changed, maybe you have met someone else, maybe you have decided that this person isn't somebody you really want to engage in, they're not constructive, or they don't fulfill your life in some way or make you feel better or make you a better person, and you start pushing away. It's almost always recommended just to talk to this person and say, hey, I'm sorry, but you know what? I think we've grown apart. Don't just let it wither and die, because that's kind of a really crappy way to leave somebody. What's much better is just to have a communication, and essentially just say, sorry, this isn't going to work for me. It's not been working for you. We need to change something. And maybe it's the end of your relationship. Maybe it's not. I'm not the one to tell you that, but I can tell you that a relationship needs 50-50 most of the time. And it's difficult. Obviously, it is very hard to, make that decision, whether you're on one side or the other. Sometimes it's mutual. I've had a few encounters throughout my life where we both got to a point where it's just like, we need to talk. And the other person's like, yeah, we need to talk. And then we both break up mutually, or don't talk to each other mutually because of friendships or whatever. And it's actually so nice to have an adult conversation with somebody who is kind of feeling the same thing and is ready to move on. And when it's mutual like that, there is a lot of admiration. I have a lot of admiration for anybody who feels the same way I do in a relationship and is mature enough to have that conversation and move on. So I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. I would really recommend to anybody who feels like they're simping over somebody or feeling like they are obsessed with somebody, especially in the early time of dating or whatever, just stop communicating. Only respond when they respond. And if you don't hear from them for 6 months, then you have your answer and you can stop wasting your time. It is so easy to become kind of obsessed or fixated on somebody and think, man, they're just so cool, they're so amazing. But you realize that you're the one initiating everything. Like, you're initiating the dates, you're initiating the communication, you're making the plans, you're checking in on them, you're seeing how their day was, all of that. And it is so liberating just to stop that communication and then realize, like, oh, I wasn't actually in a relationship with this person. I was in a relationship with myself making all of this work. And I don't know, it's taken a lot of weight off of my life, especially in these like kind of like semi-friendships and like acquaintances that I've had, where I've realized, like, Jax, like, you're putting in way more energy than the other person. Like, it's time to back up. And I don't know, it's liberating. So that's what I think of that. But like I said, a relationship has to be 50-50, and it doesn't always have to be 50-50, but the average has to come out of it somewhere, because you might be putting in 30% and they're putting in 70%. And if that's your average, if most of the time you're putting in 30, they're putting in 70, or it's the reverse, it's not a relationship and it's not functional, because you're either mooching or you are propping the whole thing up. You're like a caregiver in that sense. Like, you aren't equal partners in this relationship. Some relationships, I think, definitely function in that imbalance, like a parent and a child. Like, a child is going to be there like 10% of the time, and a parent is going to be there 90%, because they're a child, they need to be looked after. It makes sense, right? And even in the case of like a really aged parent or grandparent, like, you might be putting in more effort, but they're much older and they provided for you before, or maybe they were in your life before, whatever. So there's some relationships that absolutely function in that imbalance. But I'm telling you, if the person in the relationship with you is a romantic partner, like a marriage spouse, like a best friend, anything like that, that kind of relationship does need that equilibrium. And I don't know, just, you don't have to be like obsessed with this whole topic or this idea, but I don't know, as an exercise, think of the 10 relationships that you consider the most important in your life and ask yourselves, is this even? Is this even remotely even? And boy, howdy, does that save you some time. So I don't know. That's my 2 cents on it. I just wanted to use this beautiful backdrop and talk about something that I've been thinking about for a while. My hair is crazy, but that's fine. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I hope all of your relationships are equal and fair and you love them and they make your lives better, because they should. And as always, guys, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.